Welcome to episode 267 of the Overlook Hour. I'm your host, Clark Little. Joining me as always, for the last time as a resident of the state of California, as we say goodbye, a graduation of sorts for the great Randy Michael Stat as he goes to the other side of the country to find a life that he has not yet found in these hills of gold of California, as he forges a new path, a reverse manifest destiny, if you will. Randy, the floor is yours.
That's me, yes. I actually had no idea what this song was until you mentioned what it was. Also, you got the episode number wrong.
Okay, because these fucks put the wrong number on the big one. They put it on the tiny one on the side. I'm not going to read the side number. No one reads the side number. You read the top. It's episode 271. Gee.
I also
Good
got
job.
it wrong
You
on the
ruined-
Zencaster link, so I put 270, so it's both our
Everybody's
fault.
fucking up today because we're emotionally distraught as you are leaving us, Randy.
I got the good mic today, though. My audio should be better than last week.
You do. I also have the good mic, as it were.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm not in Phoenix. Where are you? Are you in Hayward? No. What? Pleasanton.
Pleasanton.
Yeah, kill the song. Thank you. Also, Russell John, the Fisherman.
Hello.
God.
I was waiting. I didn't want to.
So you're yelling out of a
I
coal mine?
completely forgot. I didn't know what the hell that song was.
I
You
still
never
don't
heard
really
that
know what
song?
it is.
I heard it, but when I pulled it, I'm like, who the hell is Vitamin C? Also, keep in mind, we are slowly catching up on YouTube, so I don't know. I don't know if we should be playing music that's going to get us flagged.
We talked over it. I know the rules.
I don't know. I don't know if that counts.
I know the rules so that I can break them.
Okay. I don't believe you, but I hope you're right.
Also joining us is Oksana Valeria Versace.
Hello.
Oksana, what was your high school's graduation song?
Okay, so
Oh God.
it was a parody of
I'm sorry? Weird Al was you had a
Hell
Weird
yeah.
Al song?
No, it was a Barry Manilow song. They changed the words to Mandy to be McGee because we had an infamous math teacher who was his classroom was a shrine to Barry Manilow. So
This was your senior high school song?
that's the only song I can remember from graduation. Yeah.
What kind of high school did you go to?
A lot of people cried.
Was Zac Efron there? And the cameras were always around and film crews?
My
is not a
graduating
real
class was like less than 80 people. Yeah, everyone left that college or that high school before the senior year.
Yeah, I was chairman of a senior song committee in high school, and I got voted down.
You need a committee for one song?
Yeah. Oh, dude, believe me, that's when I learned that nothing is accomplished in committees.
Yeah, you would have hated her high school. They didn't even have a football team.
We had a pool, so we had a swim team. and
Oh,
we had,
not like billiards?
No.
Or
That's what-
snooker?
we had a tennis courts, so I think we had a tennis team, and that's about it.
Randy prefers, I forgot the name of that band. Parquet courts.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
it was-
Parquet
it was
Courts is
there.
good.
There you go.
I'm a fan.
Randy, so what, you leaving out what, in a couple days?
As we record this, I'll be gone I'll be gone the day that this airs.
Yeah, but you'll be on a plane, right?
Yeah.
Now, did they come and pick the car up? I know there was you had to wait for them. Is that right?
Yeah, they were quite delayed, but it is now on a trailer heading its way to Atlanta. Should be
Alright.
there by like Thursday or something.
So you'll be a couple days without transportation.
Yeah, but they got lifts and Ubers for that type of thing. So
Are you?
Oh,
are
yeah,
you gonna MARTA it, dude?
no, probably not.
I don't know. I think you should live.
I mean, one day I'll probably hop on MARTA, but I don't know. Not the first day.
Do you have this week off of work, or are you starting work this week?
I got the first week off. I go back on the 7th, Tuesday.
Good.
I think there's a
Good.
holiday
And you get
next
a long
Monday.
weekend. You picked a good time.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, that's it.
All right, Randy, bye. You're dead to us. I mean, honestly, we're coming out of the Cellar Dwellers podcast. The fine folks over there who have adopted you, Christian and Colby. And it seems like they need an engineer, as the last episode they put up seemed to be a double from the
Dude,
upload prior.
we just thought about it.
What?
Christian, Colby, Randy, CCR.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
You're going to get Oksana to abandon ship and go join that team too.
Oksana, you like CCR?
I used to listen to them.
Everyone used to. They're America's band.
Yeah.
Born on a bayou in El Cerrito, California.
On the bayou.
All right, let's unplug the mic.
Dude, I got a great John Fogerty today.
All right, well, what'd you do last week? I know you came back, moments before I got back.
On Friday?
Yeah, anything fun happen in Arizona?
I smoked a whole pack of American Spirit
God.
Blues. I went out for one of the few times I've been out in Arizona. Dude, it was 118 degrees on Friday.
Fuck yeah.
It was just woefully hot. And on Thursday,
Where did you go?
went to go see Candyman on Thursday.
Oh, okay. In the Dead Mall?
No, I'm never going back to that place ever again.
Okay.
Primarily because their air conditioning situation is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
So
Nope.
I'm like, nope. I can deal with shady malls. I can deal with shady theaters. If you are not properly conditioned, if you have not properly conditioned your air with
Yeah.
inside set of shady theater, then not happening.
That's interesting. We both saw Candyman out of state because we saw it in Nevada, but yet we went to a theater that was, in the middle of what looked like just a casino.
Yeah.
Yet it was a mall, and it was like buried up in the corner of the second floor, and there was an old usher who was cracking jokes, and it's like, whoa, did we go through like a time machine? Everything was high tech, beautiful, clean, nobody there, completely empty. And it was kind of perfect. You would have loved it. We went to the XD screening,
Yeah.
and they had all recliners in there. We were the only
I saw
people.
it. That's great. Yeah, I had I went to an AMC, and it was at the Dolby Theater.
Oh,
So I saw it
rad.
at Dolby, and it was good.
Dang, that's cool. What did you do anything else in Arizona?
Well, so I got there a little early.
Oh, exciting.
Okay. Get there a little early. Got into my I believe I took a lift there. Got in there. The guy he's I'm taking you to the movie theater. I said, yeah. And so we started talking about movies. This guy, not a big horror movie fan,
Yeah.
but black guy. And he said that the original Candyman terrified him.
Cool.
And he's like, man, I'll be straight up with you. White movies don't scare me. Candyman, that shit's scary, man. He's like, I ain't seeing that new one.
So weird how culture works.
Yeah.
Especially because, Candyman, written by Clive Barker, not a black story. It's all white people.
Yeah.
Not even in Cabrini Green or anything. I just found out about that.
Oh, in the original,
Yeah.
I did not know.
And then Bernard Rose turned it into that.
Also-
Also a white guy.
also, I didn't know that Clive Barker did the.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, so it's really interesting.
Why didn't he do the adaptation?
I don't know. I think he might have wrote it, or I think Bernard Rose did the screenplay for it, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's busy doing bondage shit with his Hellraiser people. Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that sucks because you got home 2 hours before I did, and you probably had the same reaction where it's like, I couldn't wait to get out of the desert heat. And then I
So
got
hot.
here and I'm like, God damn it.
It was so hot here too.
It's hot.
It's better today.
It's barely better
And also
today.
the air, Randy, the air conditioning in my car is going out,
Bust.
and the air conditioning in my room, in my window unit, is not
Because you
producing
have-
what it should.
One of the only window units in California.
I mean, you got to plan ahead, dude.
And you're not even here half the time. How the hell did it go out?
Well, I don't know, man. I don't look. I don't write the lyrics. I just sing the song. Okay. I can't control the things I can't control.
I noticed today, and I'll be honest, it was a little depressing. But we've got friends out on the East Coast with the hurricane thing. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. But after Clark was like mulling it over,
I told you I did not want to talk about.
I know we're not. I'm done.
All right.
And,
Well, our thoughts are with everyone down there.
Yeah, we love y'all. But like,
my mom is safe.
I noticed that after your phone call, you instantly went outside and had a cigarette, and I'm like, oh God, is this the new like chapter?
I've already smoked 3 cigarettes today.
I know, what's the idea here? Are you trying to get clout or
no?
like...
The idea is here's because I know me, and here's the idea. I'm gonna smoke like a chimney until I get sick of it. And then I'll quit.
Well, now addiction would dictate otherwise. Because
no,
addiction is...
I don't have that. I don't have that addictive thing.
All right.
No.
Let it be known, episode 271, Clark says, I'm not addicted.
No, I'm telling you right now, because I'm already thinking of like, oh, maybe I should smoke Winston's now.
Well, you used
because everyone looks down at Winston's.
Why?
Because they sponsor NASCAR, I guess. I don't know.
Really?
They're kind of shit.
I mean, somebody's buying them.
Yeah, rednecks. James Lightfoot.
Okay, so
was a good diet.
So everybody out here on the West Coast.
Yeah, no one smokes Winston's out here.
Like when you came out here and you were talking shit about Corona.
What?
Virus?
Right? You don't like...
Oh, the beer?
The beer.
Well, Corona's shit.
Yeah, well, not out here. I love a Corona.
Corona's awful.
Nah.
Pacifico crush. I love Pacifico.
I think Corona's the first beer I ever actually wanted.
When it is... Look, there is nothing like... Dude, when it's a nice, warm, sunny day, much like today, give me a Pacifico.
Nah, Corona with a lime.
Get out of here. I'd rather piss out of my butt.
You could have it. We could trade
I'd rather piss out of my butt, make Randy drink it. He pisses that out of his butt, and then I drink that.
All right. Okay. All right. I need a cigarette after hearing that. Also, okay, so I knew you were going to bring it up at some point. I have been going through that, and of course it is tied into the 3 days we were in Vegas. I don't know what did it to me, though. Clearly, I've been trying to eat better, but like we did fast food. We went to the Sugar Factory, which I'm sure is a great experience. We didn't have one. And where the hell else did we eat?
Gordon Ramsay's fish.
Oh,
and chips.
the fish and chips there were great.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. As soon as you say Gordon Ramsay, I was like, please tell me you didn't go to his steak restaurant.
No.
Oh,
Who has time for a fucking sit down restaurant when you're in Vegas?
was the bit? Well, most people, because Vegas is like the food destination of the United States.
No, we went out there. I think it was like, it was late. I don't know. That was the most drunk we would get the whole weekend. And while we were eating, there was some little crazy lady. Like we were up on an elevated platform looking down with like railing. And she was just down there yelling at us, but everybody was kind of like glazed over mentally. And I guess she pulled her top off and was like flashing people and trying to get money. But she was trying to get money out of Terrell. She was flashing him. And he was just like, what? What are you saying? Because he's also blind without his glasses. So I don't even think he knew. Yeah, I don't know. It was a fun weekend. Yeah. Also, that koozie is from the Saw experience.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So they
the pig.
Well, it's a butcher it's the faux butcher that, becomes the location of horror. Because we did a escape room that's really a like movie quality haunt too, except you don't really have people jumping out at you.
Now they also had a Blair Witch. Did you guys have time to do that one?
Is the Blair Witch up or
It's not starting until like Saturday. So like the day after we left.
Dang.
And I wore a Blair Witch shirt there, and they're like, "Oh, are you going to be here?" I'm like, "No, I shouldn't have done it." But dude, I think as far as remember when you applied to be a host of a escape room?
Yes,
I think you would have liked to be that one, to like be a part of that.
At Saw?
Yeah. So that escape room, there are 6 rooms that you go through, and the team is up to 10 people. Now, we went out there to celebrate Terrell's birthday with 7 people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of hoping for like no randos. And we got 2. It turns out that they were traveling all over America from Italy.
Oh, mamma
so there was,
mia.
which was fine. They're both like pretty people and not a very good with the English, which turned out to be a huge problem in what is the hardest escape room I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
And so it was weird because like everything looked like you were in a movie set. So when they open up the first door, they're like, hey, we're a little behind. Somebody will be in there with you shortly. And they bring you into this decrepit, bloody, completely dirty waiting room. It looks like you're at like work. So there's like a vending machine and chairs, and there are bloody.
The waiting room at work is dirty and bloody. Where you are?
It's like a nightmare version, like Silent Hill.
Okay.
Like everything is grimy, and we're like, what are we doing? Is somebody going to run in here and scare us? And so we were standing around in there for like 15 minutes, just looking at shit. It looked like there were puzzles everywhere. There were like postings of
and the timer started, and
there was no timer. And then that room opened up into a locker room, like you would put all your shit.
But did you have to break out of that room?
Well, we thought so. And we were in there for 15 minutes looking around, trying to figure out combinations on a few of the lockers that had locks. And then somebody came in and went, hey, I'm so sorry that this was behind. We're ready for you now. And I will tell you, I had picked up a scrubbing brush and I started cleaning blood on the floor and going through the sink that was backed up with like, coagulated blood and like dirt. And because I thought it was the fucking room.
Were they fucking with you?
No, it was like an interesting waiting room.
Interesting.
Except we all thought it was a thing. So there was a board with the schedule of the week, and people were off and on, and then we were trying to figure out a puzzle to a combination that wasn't there. And then it opens up in the room, and it's instantly like, without giving anything away, Billy rolls out on a tricycle. There's an overhead thing. There's an 8-minute timer. And then it's clearly like, I was being a fucking idiot. I was literally on my hands and feet scrubbing blood, looking for a clue on the floor. But too many people. 10 or too many people.
I think they might have changed that initial waiting room too, because there's pictures online. It looks like an actual like deli front room, unless that's just in the.
That might have been what it was before they took it over. But we got in there, and half of our team paralyzed. They're just terrified. And so you walk in, it's a meat grinder. They have pigs hanging like from that music video for the new the Spiral movie.
Yeah.
And the only way to get in there is you crawl under a chain link fence. And it just said crawl written on blood. Then there was another one. There was a free meat locker, and you're supposed to go in there and freeze. Then there was another one where you do a reach of faith or something, and you put your hand in a grinder. And then there was some other one that I didn't even look at. And I remember I turned to Oksana, I'm like, hey, crawl in there. And she was like frozen. You and like 2 other people were just terrified. They released gas in the room. They're like, hey, this is a nerve toxin. You're going to die. You need to leave. Man, it was frustrating for me, but it was a lot of fun. We got it. Dude, it was great. We failed 2 of the rooms, but the Italian people were so nice. But there was a puzzle where you had like styrofoam pieces, like a pig head, and it'd be like, no, put the pig head there, and they just didn't even know what we were saying, but they were like in the way of it. Dude. Yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of fun, and nobody would get in the freezer. So I did it. Like I opened the door and Oksana just said, no, it's dark. I'm not going in there. And it looked like there was a child in the room. So I stepped in and this little girl ran across. Turns out she's like the only host. So like if you would have applied for this job, that would have been you. Were you chilling that
I would have
room?
been a little girl.
Well, you would have been a shorter person hiding in a meat locker.
All right.
So I went in there and I stood there because I thought it was just like, oh, you're supposed to be in here alone. Because I've been watching too much MTV Fear. And then she was like, hey, why don't you search the corpse? I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, check the corpse. I'm like, there's a corpse in here? There was a little area you could walk around. There was a hanging body.
By the way, you're in Las Vegas. The temperature's north of 110.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to go in the freezer?
Well, it felt great in that whole building anyway.
Okay.
They had a waiting room outside that was just a tent with a giant industrial fan, too. I don't know. Dude, it was a lot of fun. What else did we do? Drag Race Live was great.
Randy, could you have done a spooky escape room?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Also, did the Italians talk about the Fellini escape room that they have in Rome?
No,
there's
have
a
one.
Fellini escape room.
They live
there isn't, but I just made that up and thought it would be funny.
I loved it. That was very good.
It could be like a circus, It would be actually pretty cool.
Dude, I am reading that book of clowns right now and terrifying stuff in there.
Dude, they could do an Argento escape room.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Japan has the Suspiria bar. So, I mean, I feel like the groundwork is already laid. Yeah, I don't know.
Would
Vegas,
you rather go to the Suspiria bar or the HR Giger bar?
I'd just do both.
Well, they're on opposite sides of the world.
Yeah, but I mean, if I'm going out there, I'd probably try and hit them both. I mean, Vegas actually has a pretty decent like horror. Like, okay, on the way there, gas station bought 4 horror shirts. I don't know why they had them, but I'll show you them later. You'll think it's funny. Then we got there. They have Nightmare Toys, which is a horror like movie dedicated place. That's where I bought all those VHS tapes. They just have a wall of VHS tapes that are all $5 flat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I bought like 8 of them. And then, yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of shit to do out there. It was fun, but when I got back, man, it was still too fucking hot.
Y'all are there for it was a quick wham bam thank you.
Dude, it's great. It was Wednesday through Friday.
And you drove.
Left, yeah. Wednesday very early, came back Friday by 11:30 p.m. So, and then we got up, and it wasn't like we had to go to work because now it's the weekend. It was great. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Also, his videos have been up on YouTube if you haven't checked him out. He's been doing Blu-ray Tuesday, and we recorded one out there. So yeah, I don't know. He drank Hennessy on there. We're like, should we be doing this on YouTube? But I think we're just gonna lean into the 18 plus thing. So I don't know. It's fun.
All right.
It's fucking hot in here.
It's not too bad.
All right, you ready to start this thing officially?
Let's do it.
All right, let's bring in David.
Oh my God.
Come on in, David.
I hated that so much.
Good morning. It's August 29, 2021, and it's a Sunday. I had a word for the day, but now I can't remember. I can't remember what it was.
Oh no.
What's that? Say again. Oh. The word for the day was memory. Anyway, everyone, have a great day.
Dude, you're bringing bits to the show now?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Again.
I don't know. He's doing busy. He's also doing a Joe Biden impression.
The director of Eraserhead, Twin Peaks. Brilliant man. Glad to have you here, David. All right, back to LA. I edit some of those YouTube videos he puts up. I only edit them a little bit. That was all him. I didn't manipulate that in any way. And honestly, I was very concerned when I first heard that. But yeah. Good job, David. All right, are you ready? Ready for Randy's least favorite segment?
Here we go.
All right.
It's the Randy retread. All right.
Oh God. That's Randy's car on the way to Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Randy. I shouldn't have put that
By
out
the way,
there.
already, this is, I think, the second official Randy retread. Randy has not seen this movie. We have lost all meaning of what Randy retread means.
Again. The retread part just means we're talking about it again. We shouldn't be doing that. We're professionals. Yet I had to talk to you about it. And Randy's been sleeping on it for too long. It's
Well,
not like
Randy's-
he's got
True.
anything going on.
Yeah.
So
It's not like he's moving across the USA. The Night House is a film that you guys saw a couple weeks ago. I did not go see it because I had to do laundry. So I saw it a week later. That was yesterday.
okay.
Let's talk about the Night House. Now, I saw no such trailer for the Night House.
Oh, good job.
I knew nothing about the Night House. I knew that it had Rebecca Hall, and I like Rebecca Hall. If I have any complaints about Rebecca Hall, is that I think that she does a fine American accent. However, she just looks very British. So I don't really buy her as an American. Randy, your thoughts?
I also like her, but didn't realize she was British. So
Me either.
She may not be British.
Oh. Don't get hung up on that. I want to hear your thoughts about the film.
I think she's very British.
What are you looking up her Facebook right now?
It says she is an English
Bro.
actress. So yeah.
She's from
my God.
London. It's all right, isn't it? See? My British accent is superior to her American accent.
All right.
Russell, your thoughts?
No. I couldn't tell. But again, I am completely gullible.
She looks like she should be at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. She looks that British, dude.
All right.
She's a grown-up Veruca Salt. I loved The Night House until I liked The Lighthouse. The Night House. See, part of my reason is The Night House is a shit title. I don't like it. I sort of understand it. It makes a little bit more sense. Here's the problem with The Night House. It gets too cute at the end. They throw a lot and some of it sticks. And the film turned into, again, Randy, I do think that you would get some enjoyment out of this. There's a lot in this movie, and I think what they do visually is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I like the script of this. It's just, man, that third act is just a lot.
It's the problem with every haunted house paranormal film, where the buildup, it's captivating, and then you get there, and as a horror fan, a lot of us are pretty creative, and we've come to our own conclusion. And then when they kind of start showing you what they're thinking, if it doesn't line up, man, it can. You're
Well,
like, oh, I don't like
No,
that.
but it just got to a point where they were just like, we could have cut out some of this. It's just too much.
I think I know what you're trying to articulate. It does get manic at the end. But after we briefly talked about it before we were recording, and I think it all plays into it. I even think the title, The Night House, is kind of, you start reflecting on all the bad stuff, like depression creeps in at night.
Right. I know, I get that.
Yeah.
And I thought that this was a nice, examination of mental health to a certain extent. However, it's no Take Shelter. Take Shelter is sort of, my Rosetta Stone about films dealing with, mental health.
Was that Rolling Stones or something?
No, Jeff Nichols.
No, I don't know. I haven't
With
seen it.
Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
And what's my other guy's name? Jay
Hans-
Wiggum.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that his name?
I believe so,
Wiggum?
yeah.
Yeah, he's tight.
Like the cop from Simpsons?
So, it's no Take Shelter, but I very much enjoyed it. I thought that Rebecca Hall carried this movie. She does a fantastic job, and frankly, Brandy, the movie opens up where Rebecca Hall is a teacher, and her husband has passed away.
Mm-hmm.
We learn a little later in the movie that her husband killed himself, and she's just trying to, hold herself together, and then, is watching a lot of old tapes that they made together, and, reading things that he had written, and also checking his phone, and noticed some pictures of some other women, and there were some other things going on. Apparently he was into, the dark arts.
Well, there's an important thing there, where this film, we're fresh off of him killing himself, and he didn't leave a note. Or no, he did.
He did.
But the whole movie is her almost like reimagining who he was, because she was so shocked by him doing it. And, when she's going through her phone, there's a girl that looks a lot like her that she starts to think isn't her. And like when we were talking about it, this is what I wanted out of Censor, where it's like, oh, we're doing a descent into darkness, what is real, what isn't. Except in that movie, you knew the whole time what was real and what wasn't.
Yeah.
And in here, dude, by Act 2, it's terrifying. And in the audience, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then the third act, it either works for you or feels like jumping the shark. But
there's a great scene that takes place at a bar where one of her co-workers, another teacher, they were having, teacher's night out, and they wanted her to come along. Well, no, that sounds like a different
technical
movie.
term.
It's teacher's night out. that's a movie starring John Cena in another comedy because the comedic genius John Cena. I like John Cena. We can stop with the comedies.
No, I don't like him.
You don't like him?
Nah, not after that pandering apology.
Thank you so much. John Cena.
He's a weaker Hogan. He's trying to be that American, substitute dad kind of shit. He's whack.
But he's not nearly as interesting as Hogan.
Nah.
Hogan's so weird.
Go back to the bar.
Now I want to listen to Hogan's music record.
Well, no, because that bar is one of the best scenes in the movie.
Okay, so they're back. It's by far the best scene in the movie. One of my favorite scenes I've seen this year because I think it's a perfect examination of someone who has just suffered a horrendous loss. When you go through a tragedy, it's easier to a certain extent for the person going through the tragedy than people around the people with the tragedy because everybody's walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
So I think you hit a certain threshold of you're just tired of that shit, and you just and that was sort of culminated here in this scene where one of the teachers was just asking very blunt questions, and she was happy to answer them. She just wanted to talk about it, and it made everyone else uncomfortable. And then the whole scene, got very uncomfortable from the direction that was headed. But I just thought it was a great realistic scene. As someone, when you go through those deeply tragic moments, you just want whatever truth there is to be said. So even, by talking about it is therapeutic.
Yeah, I also think she wasn't dealing with it though. And
she was and she wasn't. Like you are and you are. It's you Dabda.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Before that, she had shown up to work, and people were like, "What the hell are you doing here?" Like,
you got to have something to do.
I get it, but yeah.
What else is there to do?
I know. Well, you hang out in the house that he built for you.
Yeah.
And think
what
about
I mean?
it. Yeah. So I don't know, Randy, it's definitely worth watching. It's fucking good. I think at Rotten Tomatoes, it's actually higher than Candyman, which we're going to talk about later. Yeah, it's at 85 right now, which I don't know, it deserves it, man. I'm excited
Also,
on that one.
I love that house.
Yeah, beautiful.
Love that house.
Also, the architecture. We do a little bit of H.P. Lovecraft in this film. I know I hate comparing things or even titling them as Lovecraftian. I hate that as much as Lynchian. But I feel like they really did it right here. We were doing some abstract stuff with haunting, using the architecture to make outlines of a male figure that was dude, very interesting movie.
But there's no real satisfying payoff of that.
But I think that's better for the film.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying that this film walks an interesting line between studio and art house.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to play well to people just walking in either. Because you got to kind of live with that movie
but
a little bit.
But there are jump scare moments. There are scary.
Oh, yeah.
There were a couple times where I'm like, okay, all right, okay, Night House.
Oksana, did you scream in that
Getting
one?
A little spooky.
I don't think I screamed, but I definitely got scared. I think I jumped a lot.
Yeah.
Randy, the girl that is in Barry, is in this.
Okay, the blonde lady?
Yeah, she's great. She's she's Rebecca Hall's friend, teacher, lady.
I'm in.
She's great. I think you should like it. Randy, I think this is a solid 3-star for you, babe.
Sounds about right. I mean, I definitely plan on seeing it. I like Rebecca Hall, and yeah, think I'll probably see it pretty soon after I move. And Candyman.
Cool. I'm interested if any of our one movie podcasts like Scary Thoughts or Cellar Dwellers would kind of dig into this one. I think there's a lot to chew on there. And yeah. So when do y'all do it? All right. Are we gonna try and put Randy on the spot now? Or?
Yeah, Randy, you said no, we all know you're out there. You're trying to get your life packed up, shipped out. So you can start anew in Atlanta. So you haven't watched a whole lot this week, right?
Indeed. Haven't really watched anything. I watched a couple episodes of a Hulu show. with my mom the other night called
Ooh.
9 Perfect Strangers.
What is that? Wait a minute. I know what that is. How
I
terrible.
think it was based off of a book or something.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman's in it playing like a Russian character, and I don't think she does a good Russian accent, but
Oh, no.
I don't know. We'd have to consult Oksana for that one, but
Not Nikki Kids. Oh, well, don't we have Michael Shannon in this as well?
yeah, Michael Shannon's good in it, and Bobby Cannavale is in it. They're both really good. I don't know. The show's kind of weird. It's just like this 9 people get chosen to go to this like retreat, like a wellness retreat thing, and they're given it has a very similar spoiler to the end of Old with the smoothies they're getting.
Oh, weird.
Is it
Yeah.
spooky?
It's not. It's spoilers ahead for 9 Perfect Strangers. They're microdosing them with shrooms.
Yeah.
Lame.
Yeah.
Well, Randy, I don't know if you saw it, but I actually read Sandcastles on the ride out to Nevada.
Yeah, I saw that.
I not a popular opinion I have, but I thought Old was better. I
Nice.
really wanted a like more serious approach to the material and not as goofy. And I mean, there were moments of Old where I was laughing at what was going on screen, not with it.
Mhm.
And by the end of Sandcastle, it's a French graphic novel, and oh man, it's so bleak. I would compare it to Long Weekend, the movie, except that there's a lot of weird like sexual decisions made in that book. And I
They're
don't
French,
know.
dude. Every decision's a sex decision in
Well,
France.
the thing is,
They fuck.
when you're encompassing like all the emotions of human life, I feel like you got to have a few of those in there, other than like I don't know, the want of fleshly needs and I don't know, misery. Like, dude, by the end of it, I was reflecting on Old, and I'm like, dude, Old had the whole rainbow of emotions in there. Like, literally,
Dio?
it literally had me laughing at it and then crying with it.
Yeah.
Like I had a damn tear in that movie.
In Old?
In Old,
Why?
just because it
Was dust
touching.
in your eye?
No, I really
Touching?
I really
I
like.
saw it twice. I wasn't touched.
How high were you? You were probably numb.
First time fairly high, second time 0.
Yeah, well, here, when you find the right lady and you rewatch
Or
Old,
man. Don't put
or
me in a
man,
box.
when you find
dude.
the right other,
Thank you.
by the time you do, it might be an AI on your phone. Who knows?
I'm gonna Joaquin it. Dude.
Yeah, true.
Same.
Well, even that shit should be canceled because that movie's got a pronoun for a title. It's fucking medieval times. Anyway, you know, it's just when the couple's reflecting on all the petty squabbling they had done. I don't know. It was really effective. And like to have bonitis right around the corner, it's
I need my calcium.
like to me that movie really encapsulated the human experience much better. But again, that Sandcastle's a really quick read and a better title. So
Is a better title.
yeah, black and white, dumb, didn't like it. Also, they don't have mid-sized sedan in there, which is
Bummer.
the best character of the year. Yeah,
It's a bummer.
yeah.
Besides
All right,
9
Randy,
Perfect
anything?
Strangers, you guys know about No Budge? I believe our future guests mentioned it.
I know about No Bulge. Thank you.
I also have that, but yeah, No Budge is like it's a site / streaming service that just has a bunch of no budget indie, a lot of shorts and several features. There was a free trial for that, so I've added a couple things, and I watched like 2 shorts so far that were both pretty good. One is called Sound Speeds, and one is called Aquaculture. I think they're both like 10-12 minutes long, but I don't know, it seems like there's some cool stuff on there. And yeah, I believe our future guest mentioned that one of their shorts was on there like a while ago, so I'd been meaning to check out No Budge because I've seen a lot of like posts about stuff on their service, but yeah, I don't know, it seems cool so far, and probably going to check out some more pretty soon.
Cool.
Who was on No Budge? You talking JTT JB?
Yeah, I believe JTT said he may have had something on there like a while ago, but I think now it's on his Vimeo page.
That makes sense.
Why are you all talking in code? We already
It's
have the
cooler.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know if they were
I-
going to be this week or next week, so I didn't want to say.
They're this week.
They're this week. Anybody want to go ahead and name them?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Play the theme.
The theme for what?
The Tonight Show would have been great. You
Oh,
missed
I
it.
don't have that. That was a YouTube link you sent me.
Ah, God, I need.
I know.
Let me explain something to you. I need y'all to be at my level. You understand?
I?
I'm not high. I've lost my vaporizer. I don't know. I'm sorry. Have you seen my vaporizer pin?
I just got here last night. No, I
You
haven't.
got here 2 nights ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we were downstairs working on shit. He stumbled.
You've been vaping, apparently.
He stumbled into the room and just said, "I can't find my vape." Good. That's how I greet people after a
I know,
week
I
of not
can't-
seeing them.
And the only gummies I have, dude, you saw me last night. Randy, I switched over. I got some THC and CBD gummies
Mm-hmm.
that are specifically designed to improve your sleeping health.
Okay.
And I was waiting on you, Randy. It's a conversation. We go back and forth. It's like Pong. You know that video
Would you
game?
hurry up?
Uh-huh.
We're running out of time. You're talking about your CBD gummies.
Well, you saw me last night. I looked catatonic.
You did. And it looked like you were on fucking opioids.
Yeah.
You had raccoon eyes.
Did I have raccoon
Yeah,
eyes?
I was like, what are you doing?
I was doing a raccoon impression.
You're like, I'm over cigarettes. I'm doing I can't even think of a damn pill. Give me a pill. Oxycontin. They still make that?
I don't
Oh,
know,
yeah.
Randy.
Big seller. Brought to
This
you by
way.
Pfizer.
Okay.
Pfizer. FDA approved. This week, our friends over at the Cellar Dwellers podcast started a new series on David Cronenberg. I listened to the first one. The first film they covered was The Brood. And they were talking about everything that they were going to cover there. I think they're going to go decade by decade
Cool.
with Cronenberg. So, starting in the 70s, the 80s, I don't know. They may do the one that I'm about to talk about now, because I had never seen. I've come in and out of Cronenberg, and I've missed some of the big ones, and I've missed the biggest one of all the Cronenbergs. Probably. Do you think this one is the biggest Cronenberg?
Probably.
This one put him on the map.
Popular culture, yeah.
Of course, I'm referring to The Fly. We got Jeffrey Goldblum. We got Gina Davis. And we got a baboon. And we got another baboon who got turned into beef jerky.
Okay, what did you think of it? I'm pretty sure everybody listening has seen it before.
I know. That's what the thing. First 35 minutes, a little sleepy.
Yeah.
Sleepy. Then picks up.
You like Goldblum working out nearly naked?
Oh, that was pretty hot. He turned into gymnast Goldblum. What the fuck?
I don't know.
We got some. Randy, did you hear that? We got a neighbor who's decided he wanted to say hello through the window.
I didn't, but I have shitty headphones on today.
So we got Goldblum in there. Now, again, I think that when we talk about the strengths of Cronenberg, what are we talking about, really? Are we talking about his storytelling? Are we talking about the exposition? Are we talking about the camera work? Are we talking about the gnarliness and the special effects
And the body horror?
and
Yeah.
the body horror? That's the bread and butter. That's what's bringing the keisters into the theater, baby. That's what's buttering the popcorn. And we get plenty of that in this. I mean, what else do you want when the fly's going? You can't fly any higher.
Well, you know the interesting thing about The Fly, a lot of body horror, it's usually just a descend. Like, hey, I'm here, and then things get worse. Where in The Fly, he actually is better than human.
He goes,
for a
yes.
minute. Yeah.
So he goes better than human, then decrepit.
More human than human. That's a shout out to your favorite filmmaker, Rob Zombie.
I tried to pivot it into
I know.
the Killer song. Are we human or are we dancer?
Oh, I don't know
And
that.
then
That's some Randy shit.
you don't know that?
I don't know the Killers either.
Oh, my man.
Are we human?
All right.
Are we dancer?
Are we more human than human?
It's a good song, dude. The Killers are woefully lame.
Okay.
All right. So, first thing happens,
Oh,
he turns into Love Machine, man. But then you notice his face. He's got Greg Popovich face.
All right.
Google Greg Popovich. You're gonna laugh for days.
Mhm.
Popovich.
Yeah,
Maybe.
please
That'll
stop the
get you there.
podcast to go Google Greg Popovich.
It looks like Greg Popovich's face looks like, he rented it out as an ice rink,
Okay.
or people dropped a sack of hot nickels on it.
Okay. Very different images you painted there.
Oksana, are you looking up Greg Popovich face?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Nope.
Thank you so much. Show.
No, I don't.
Show your life partner.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like that.
Head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. Good man. I don't like him. Also, it was rumored that Greg Popovich was former CIA.
What did you think of his apartment?
Greg Popovich? Never been. Goldblum, sorry, see, that's the thing. It was cool, but it's stupid at the same time.
Nah, because now we have people mining crypto. It's the similar thing. Using a lot of power,
But
hanging
I'll
out in
tell
a
you-
loft.
But yes, for 1986, I bought it.
Yeah.
Because the property's probably not too terribly expensive. And the whole thing, he's shrouded in mystery anyway, so it just works.
Yeah.
It just works.
Great casting, too.
Yeah. Also, the pods look awesome.
But like he's got he's very different than Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of like a quirky good guy that's corrupted. You know what I mean? Where like Frankenstein, you never want to root for that.
Yeah.
That motherfucker. But like Goldblum's charming.
Very
And-
charming.
Yeah, and it's tragic what happens in that movie. I'm glad
Or
you.
is it?
I don't.
Because at the end, he even says to Gina Davis, he's like, I'm returning to what I'm supposed to be. I'm a fly masquerading as a human, and I'm just going back to my true form.
Does that really happen?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
No,
No, that was a beautiful part of the film.
last time I saw The Fly was at the Alamo for a Terror Tuesday, like probably 3 years ago. Looked beautiful though.
That was
Also,
great.
Alamo's coming back, so by the time Randy leaves, we'll be back in the Alamo. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but whatever.
I don't know. Fuck the ammo. They took away the best chicken sandwich I ever had. They ruined that menu. Ruined it.
Yeah.
Also, the name of the baboon that is the actor, he goes by Typhoon.
Typhoon the baboon?
Apparently, yeah.
Fuck.
That's good.
It's a good baboon name.
Man, when that first baboon died, I was very sad. Also, gross. Just
Yeah.
turned him inside out.
The body horror in that is very good.
So good.
Yeah.
And the fly was fucking.
Yeah. Better than help me.
Help me. Help me. I don't know why I haven't seen the fly, to be honest with you. I just, I'm a busy man.
Oh, you're also a millennial. I think like all of the
You
old.
watch your goddamn
Well,
mouth.
like
I identify as a boomer.
I know you do, and I don't know. You don't get thrilling from the aspect of watching The Fly. So I don't know. You watch it and you're like, oh, there's a lot going on here. Like, yeah. I'm glad you watched it.
It's great. Randy, your thoughts?
It's pretty good. Also, haven't seen it for several years, but it's good.
All right. Are we going to talk about, let's pivot into, so again, last week we talked to our new friends over at the Cellar Dwellers podcast based out of Atlanta. And towards the end of that show, I proposed a little bit of a trade-off. So we are delivering our end of that trade-off as I believe it was Christian gave us we both, I threw out the suggestion that we would each assign each other's show a film, and then we would review said selection in an upcoming episode. So Christian decided that he wanted us to talk about a 1970s puppet soft pornographic film called Let My Puppets Come.
Well, I want to stop you there and just point out that before that, he mentioned Pumpkin Carver.
Yes, he did.
And I will tell you, it's one of those moments where you like meet a stranger in a record shop.
Is that when you fell in love?
Well, that's a little weird. Like, did you ever think somebody would recommend Pumpkin Carver?
No, but as soon as he did, I'm like, we're in good company.
Yeah, exactly. And I had to point that out. And we did like a segment on that fucking.
Also, I loved his whole packaging of recommending Pumpkin Carver to us, where he was clearly excited about Pumpkin Carver because he enjoys it, because it's a fantastically fun film. But he was also like, it's pretty, just let it go. Just, he was trying to like quell our expectations.
Yeah.
However, I don't know if I used quell. I don't know if quell's a word.
Or quim.
Oh, you just learned what quim is today.
Yeah.
That's a big day.
Mm-hmm.
What is quim?
Mayor Quimby from The Simpsons. We're making a lot of references to that show today.
I think quim may be British, but it's we don't use it much over here. It may just be outdated.
I've never heard quim until we watched Let My Puppets Come.
No, it means vagina.
Rebecca Hall uses it.
100%.
Rebecca Hall?
Yeah, because she's British.
Oh.
Quim.
Callback.
They also
okay.
No, the Brits, they also say minge, fanny, cunny. Fanny. Yeah, fanny does not mean booty. Fanny does not mean butt. Fanny actually means vagina.
Fanny is a child's butt.
So that's it. What you kind of need to think of it as is that, the American cunt and the British cunt are two different things. They use cunt much more loosely than we do.
Mm-hmm.
The American cunt that's a hard cunt.
Okay.
British is like, come on, you cunt.
Quim has no weight to it at all.
Yeah. Minge.
I only know Minge from the UK Drag Race. There's one of the girls is named Ginger Minge.
What about cunny?
No.
I say cunny.
All right.
That's it.
Okay, cool.
That's all the vagina slang words I know.
Well, again, Let My Puppets Come. It looks like Vinegar Syndrome put it out. There's no other boutique that would. It's a
Kino was talking about it for a while.
It's a vintage. What do you call? What's the polite word? Smut. It's film with puppets in it, and I found it through a torrent, and I'm going to recommend people do that because I couldn't find the DVD anywhere.
Transfer looks great.
Yeah, it looked good. Again, thank you to Vinegar Syndrome. And Vinegar Syndrome, don't worry, I spend way too much money with you year after year.
Yeah, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, if I see y'all have a copy of this, I'll buy it and give it back. But I did find it. It took me a while because I realized I had to click that I was looking for porn, which I'm not used to doing, which may be surprising to some people. But yeah, it came up, and Clark was like, I heard this was softcore. And we're like, okay, well, it's probably just because there's puppets in it. Yet the first...
I didn't want hardcore.
Well, hardcore puppet porn is pretty much what you get. Since the very first intercourse scene involves a bored, voluptuous, blonde puppet lady lamenting her lack of man in her life, sitting naked on a reclining chair. When her pet dog comes up and seduces her into cunnilingus, and then just missionary style on with his red rocket on a recliner. Yep. It was a hell of a way to open up a movie, and I don't think it gets more gnarly than that. Yeah. Although it does start to turn into a bad acid trip. Not that I've ever had one, but that's clearly what you would imagine that Pinocchio, who's been making love to women with his nose the whole movie, turning into an androgynous human girl playing a boy.
Doing a Mick Jagger impression.
Doing a Mick Jagger impersonation about a full-size female puppet, how the boy next door is the best girl in America or something. What was the lyric?
By the time we got to there, I had completely lost track of what the fuck was happening.
Yeah, and dude, it's with a movie like this where you come in just for the concept, the real problem is that they usually run out of steam right away and get very boring. In this film, me and Clark we're starting to feel the length. And then one of the puppets made fun of it. They're like, yeah, we have bad pacing in this film. And then I think 20 minutes late, actually, I have no idea how long later, we paused the movie and it was almost over.
Yeah, we had like 15 minutes left.
And we're like, wait a minute. I thought it had only been on for 20 minutes. So I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
I don't either. I don't know.
It's bizarre. It's also a musical, which I think Clark appreciated.
There were a couple of pretty decent musical numbers.
Yeah, and
that everything is still very strange. There is there's no comedic pocket in this movie.
No.
It sort of changes scene by scene, and none of it is too terribly funny.
Well, there's a lot of interesting ideas too. Like at one point, Geppetto shows up with his Pinocchio, which is kind of on the nose, no pun intended there. But Geppetto, they pull him in because they want to make a porno, and he starts building women. And at one point, he's painting this styrofoam puppet like the black skin tone.
Yeah.
And it starts talking to him. And he's like, oh, don't worry, I'm going to make you beautiful. And it's like, is there some like creationist stuff going on?
And then she wanted to fuck.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of puppet wieners. At one point,
they all looked the same.
No, they didn't.
Most of the puppet wieners.
No, Lash, the guy running the puppet porn store.
Okay, that guy, he had a girthy puppet penis that, he still had his turtleneck on.
Yeah.
Then the other two, pretty sure that was the same dick.
Well, the secretary who wanted to be the star of the porno turned out to have male genitalia.
Also that.
And Geppetto fixed it by just cutting it off.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we? It's bizarre.
And it still had the urethra.
That's you could call it that.
That was a hole.
It definitely was a hollow. I don't know. The puppets get wet in here too. Not like a lot, but they do.
Yeah, because they need to get sexually lubricated.
Yeah, they make a joke about that.
Yes.
Dude, what a bizarre film. And
very strange.
The first time a human lady is naked, it's a bizarre moment in a bar where I can't tell if she's stripping or bartending. And she gets rescued by one of our puppet protagonists. And they go back to her place. And Clark pointed out that she sounded a little bit like Harley Quinn. And I could not get it out of my head.
Dude. Pull some of that audio, send it to Randy.
I have it. I pulled it.
Oh, yeah.
I pulled a clip because I knew I had to talk about it. And people are going to be like, what does that even mean? But who's the girl in the movie that does the like real life Harley Quinn?
What's her name, Randy?
Yeah, Randy. I know you got a
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, Margot
There we
Robbie.
go. Yeah. Do you think she stole her sound from this movie?
This was her inspiration.
Here, I'm playing this for you, Randy. Here we go.
Freddie, I have a confession to make.
Do tell.
I've been a very bad girl.
So I gathered.
And then they didn't do it, actually. I think.
No, he had that puppet had a weird fetish to where he wanted. He defended her honor, but got bashed on the head by a real human man. She's also a real human lady, and he is a puppet. So cut to the next scene where this real naked human lady who has been very awkwardly dancing throughout the second act of this film to little or no music. And she takes the puppet on her bed and she wants to repay him with a sexual favor. And the puppet is sheepish about this exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, well, I've got something else in mind. And then he tells her, and she's like, oh. And then he commences to put her panties around his waist and then her bra on his head. Then he goes behind a counter, and then she throws cherries at him.
Well, you skipped. She talked about how her dad used to spank her.
Oh, yes.
So
yes. So he spanked her as she says daddy.
Yeah, dude. Weird film. And a lot of it is them making a porno. So you get a lot of puppets operating camera equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there, and I don't think we were ready for it. But it definitely touches on horror. I don't know. It was a really interesting recommendation, and I had never heard of it. So, that was Christian's fault, right?
And we should say that all of the sex was either puppet on puppet or puppet on human.
Yeah.
No human sex.
Although there was that weird moment where it cut from them making a porno to real life children playing on a beach.
Yes.
And then it zoomed into like a 12-year-old boy like digging in the sand. And it was like on his trunks. And we're like, what are we doing now?
Yeah. Supposedly, that was how M. Night Shyamalan got his start.
Oh, it was on the beach of old.
That's right.
And Randy, a lot of guerrilla style shots of New York. They're down there. It opens up with a puppet buying a hot dog from a vendor.
Solid. Classic New
Yeah.
York.
No, for sure. And I looked up the director after, and he had made 52 other films. They all seem to be porn. The last one he ever did was The Naked Goddess. And he's a New York dude. His name's Gerard Demanio. Gerard Demanio.
Hey,
Yeah, Ginkogino.
making a porno, babe.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. That was a good recommendation. Again,
Strange film.
we got to do this more often with other podcasts.
Also, the name of the film is Let My Puppets Come. Come spelled traditionally.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Weird choice. I don't
Missed
know.
opportunity.
I think it's a bait and switch. So you throw it on for your kids. You're like,
Baiting?
okay.
Baiting and switch.
It's a Patrick Bateman switch.
All right, we've already hit the 320. And
I
we still haven't
know.
talked about Candyman.
I know. And I'm not going to rush through it.
You've never rushed through anything in your
It's
life.
my
It
turn
takes you 6 minutes to pee.
as we revisit the Bernard Herrmann. Actually, you know what? So Candyman, you didn't like it. I liked it. Or is it fair to say you didn't like it?
I was meh on it.
Okay. Well, here's the thing.
Let me before you get to the thing, let me tell about my thing.
All right. Let's talk about your thing.
I got marijuana in Arizona.
Okay.
Allegedly.
We're off to a bad start.
No, it's legal. I went
Oh.
across the street. There is a
I was just
dispensary.
talking about the quality.
There's a dispensary across the street. It's called Marigold.
Oh.
Now, honestly, this is the first dispensary I have ever been in my entire life
Oh.
because I always just order it. Because thank you, California,
Yeah.
I can just order my drugs and it comes to my home. So I go into this dispensary. It's like a fucking jewelry store.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
They all are.
That's dumb.
What kind of music?
That's a dumb thing. I didn't pay attention. Also, I got a pack of gummies, 10 milligrams a pop, 100 milligrams, $30.
Oh.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they work. So I was all gummed up going to Candyman. And when I'm gummed up in a movie, it can go either ways. And it went the wrong way. It just went the wrong way.
All right. Well, what lingering notes do you remember?
Here's the thing. I have fairly recently seen the original Candyman, not too long ago. I think within the past year, maybe 6-8 months or so, and really enjoyed it. And I was really looking forward to seeing this. Now, knowing that Jordan Peele had a hand in this, and then did not direct it, it just felt like Jordan Peele light to me.
What do you mean by that?
Here's what I mean. The humor was not there.
Okay.
The comedic effort that was there was just, I assume, was the brother who annoyed the fuck out of me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It needed a comedic element desperately. It's like if you're making soup and you taste a little bit of that soup, you need some salt. Didn't have salt in this movie.
I don't know. I think the Jordan Peele effect is more bringing over like that urban culture, which is so different if you
Yes.
watch like,
And that was
Medea.
present.
Yeah, and I think that's like the Jordan Peele effect. So
But if you look at his two previous films, there is an underlying comedic tone there. There
That's
is
true.
no underlying comedic tone here,
No.
which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But I need something to offset that,
But
I didn't get that.
But again, it's not a Jordan Peele movie.
It is a Jordan Peele movie.
Well, produced by.
It's a Jordan. It's a Jordan Peele movie.
No.
It comes across very much that way.
Well, okay, here's the other thing. I think Jordan Peele kind of gets lumped in. He's a part. Okay, you know how I was talking about A24 kind of being their own subgenre? Like they have their own tone and look to like film. If you listen to the last Scary Thoughts podcast, they were talking about the new Halloween film. And they brought up something I hadn't thought about where Blumhouse kind of is doing the same thing. Where Blumhouse will make these like mid-range budget horror films that are aimed at horror fans.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like the Marvel equivalent where they're loaded up with Easter eggs.
Yeah, but then they shit in your mouth.
Well, the thing is, they also operate in like a not sequel, not reboot, kind of all the above area. And Candyman did that too, where we're kind of rebooting the idea, but it's clearly a franchise film.
Yeah.
Like we even hark back to like other characters, but it's also aimed at horror fans. And I don't know. I wasn't missing the humor. Were you expecting like?
I just no. It's not expectations. It's just balance.
I get it.
It felt off balance to me of what you need that. I think or at least I need that in a studio horror film like this.
All right, that's okay. I get that.
Because everything was kind of built around that, and because the brother was the comedic relief,
Kinda.
and he
Yeah.
sucked.
Well, they kind of just I don't know.
That didn't work.
Like
for
a
me.
flamboyant gay character is kind of like, I don't know.
It was.
I liked him. I thought I enjoyed all the characters, and as somebody, I would describe myself as allergic to virtue signaling.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I guess we're at the end of the white devil wave of films, as critics didn't love it. I think
This is certified fresh.
it's certified, but Get Out was like untouchable. Like you could not give that movie a negative score. And I think there's just been so many films that are like,
This goes full tilt horror.
it does, but it doesn't shy away from like race relations either.
No.
But I think all the complaints I've heard, I haven't heard any horror complaints. I've heard I'm tired of this conversation complaints, which is interesting because we were talking about it while we were playing D&D yesterday. And somebody had mentioned that the movie actually kind of touches on that, where our main character has an art exhibit. And he's a black artist who does paintings, and he's known for depicting, racial trauma. So like, one of his paintings is like a black man, you can tell from like masculine hands, and there's like a noose hovering over it. And everybody's kind of like, all right, dude, like that's old. Like we got to move forward here. And I thought it was interesting because the movie is probably one of the most interesting, nuanced conversations about like race. And I thought a lot of the movie was about exploiting like cultural trauma, which I haven't heard. And actually all these movies have been doing, which, I don't even remember the name of them, but do you remember that one where it's like, oh, the nice black family moves out to a rural home, but they cross their paths in a bathroom with a biker gang? And like somehow they end up taking some of their drugs and it turns into a home invasion film.
Mm.
Or do you remember that one where it's like the nice black couple buy a house, but the original owner is a crazy white guy who wants to kill them now?
Oh, I saw that movie.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those. And it seems like where we are culturally.
Dennis Quaid went bananas.
Well, I think people are like over it.
Yeah.
But on the surface level, I mean, there's a lot more to Candyman than just.
There's no question. There's no question. And again, I just think that tonally, and then also going into the third act and the culmination, which I would like to refrain from. I would like
That's
for us
fine
to not spoil that. Not that I had any issues with it. It's just I think ultimately, what are we talking about now? I think the messages got confused with me by the end.
Okay. Well, okay.
Because
So-
now it's domestic terrorism.
So there's interesting things going on in Candyman. There's an artist struggling for like inspiration, and he hears a story about, oh man, dude, it's like to talk about this stuff, you have to start at the very beginning. The character you don't like that you're calling the comic relief, who's the brother of one of our protagonists.
Yeah.
he's bringing his boyfriend over to meet his sister and her boyfriend. And the conversations they have there. Now, I should mention his boyfriend is white and everybody else there is black. And they get
Is he white?
Yeah. They straight up mention it in the movie. And there's a moment where they're talking about like
He seemed Latin.
how
to me.
Cabrini Green's gone and how white people, section off an area and then turn it into the projects and then just demolish it so that they can gentrify it and buy up all the property. And then he's like, well, isn't this house that?
Yeah.
And then everybody kind of like reflects on it. Also, there's another thing going on where this is like the bourgeoisie of like black culture where like they've got money and they have a beautiful apartment and they're talking about like wine tasting. And it's kind of like, okay, what are we doing here? Like
An extravagant apartment.
and they're lamenting about past racial trauma. And he kind of like points it out like, hey, well, you've benefited from this too. And the whole movie takes that tone. Like even when we go back to the projects and he's like looking around, I took all that as like cultural folklore. And the movie's kind of about how we employ it. And a lot of this film is about exploiting cultural trauma through art or through personal gain. And that third act, they flip it and they do it very subtly. And it took me a little bit. I did have the benefit of having a 8-hour ride home to kind of like work this out in a car. And dude, I think it's really good. Now, but to get away from all the racial stuff that all the people who didn't like this film are clearly tired of, they did the thing that I've wanted from the Gallows, and I've been bugging all our guests about it, making everybody watch that trailer, where a slasher character floats up and murders somebody. I loved the ghost slasher that they turned Tony Todd into.
Yeah.
I thought it was the coolest shit I've seen in a slasher movie for a long time.
And they filmed it in interesting ways.
Oh,
The high rise
dude, I thought it was beautifully captured.
where we Randy, we got a high rise zoom out kill, dude.
Oh yeah, talk about like
Did you like that?
I loved it. Now, Con, it felt a little CG there, like a little like you couldn't really ignore it. Like it hurts immersion.
Yeah.
But I thought the effect of that shot was beautiful, and they were kind of highlighting like where it was happening.
Yeah.
In her apartment. And dude, the movie's so smart. I just don't know if we really give film time to reflect on. Like Randy, I know the bit that I always do where, mirrors and what they mean in film.
Yeah.
It's one of the easiest visual metaphors. Dude, this movie fucking takes that to the next level. And you know what? They blend horror in perfectly. And I was talking to Terrell and Oksana about this. Whenever you watch a horror movie that's like Bloody Mary themed, you always get characters who are like Bloody Mary in a mirror, and it never pays off. And what I mean is like people don't just pop up, and there's always a reason why it didn't happen right away. And then by the third act, stuff gets crazy. I loved how in this film, one, you say Candyman 5 times, which feels like too much, which I think kind of runs in line with like beating a dead horse theme that we have in this movie. But the other thing is every time they did it, there was always, a reaction. And I like, as a horror fan, I really appreciated that. I don't know. What did you think of this as a horror movie?
Succeeded.
Okay. I don't hear anybody having that conversation. Like all the girls being murdered in the bathroom, which again is in the trailer, so I don't feel bad mentioning.
Yeah. Well, they don't show that.
Oh, they do.
Not a ton.
Oh, okay. Definitely it's a longer scene.
Yeah.
But what feels like a fun like Blumhouse like murder fest right there?
Because most of that scene we get from the point of view is the one girl of color in the bathroom who came in the middle of that while they were commencing that nonsense. And, they were just mean to her. And then she goes in there and puts her knees on the toilet and looks at her, bad brains back patch.
Hell yeah.
But again, a great like scene for a horror movie. Yet again, the way that the folklore is employed, I think is even playing into the racial thing where that like PC gathering of all these girls, we had an Asian girl, There was a black girl in the stole. We had a Latino girl. There was the white girl. Then there was the one girl with the most dialogue, which was just to let us know that she was a lesbian. It's all fair game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought this movie was incredibly thoughtful. And I'm kind of bummed that so many horror fans are just like, oh, I'm tired of this shit. And I'm like, dude, we haven't been, again, the comparison I'm trying to articulate is Promising Young Woman and I Blame Society. Like, people love Promising Young Woman for the conversation it sparked, except I think it completely missed the mark and didn't understand it at all. It was a lot of virtue signaling, where I Blame Society nailed it. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I still get likes on my Letterboxd.
Well, maybe next week we can go more into spoiler territory, because I think there's some themes I'd like to discuss with you, and maybe we can do that on microphone later. I don't want to do that now.
Like duality and mirrors and what it means.
No.
And how Candyman, dude, the way, okay, if you haven't watched it like Randy, think about how Candyman appears and who he kills and when. And I really think like this is a even movie with like a lot of nuance.
I will tell you, the scene where it's a flashback scene where we've got the guy in the at the cleaners at the washateria.
Yeah.
When he's saying that he met the Candyman.
Yeah.
And he comes out of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
But also, now think about it. Now the third act, where it gets a little bit turbulent.
Also, that guy's great. Great voice.
Oh, dude, amazing. Also, just the idea
Candyman
of telling oral stories in this film is also like a theme. Like, we have the puppet show stuff, which
that's an oral story.
Yeah.
Let my puppets go.
Good job there. The shadow puppets in this one too, and just
love the shadow puppets.
Well, and like the folklore and how it's evolved and who tells you and personal bias, and it all plays in. And also police as villains or like as government protection is also interesting. And I've been thinking a lot about it, again, to plug Scary Thoughts Halloween talk. They mentioned something about slasher films I never thought of, where, at the end of the day, what is this film articulating? And Chad had mentioned, that you shouldn't expect the government to protect you. Don't trust them with your safety.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is a great way to look at slasher films, because they're never there for you. And, this one, it doesn't really, it kind of takes that sentiment, but I don't know. It's tough not like spoiling this film. And again, for fucking cellar dwellers, they went out they were in Atlanta and they saw a screening of it. Tony Todd was there and did a Q&A after.
Hell yeah. Dude, how old is Tony Todd now?
I don't know, but how interesting would it be to hear him talk about that?
For sure.
I don't know. Again, and I hate like grouping people up by gender and like race. But in case anybody didn't check it out, this film was directed by a black female woman, which is
a black female woman.
I'm sorry, that's a little redundant.
No,
by a POC of birthing nature.
What?
Yeah, that's a popular thing. Call them birthing people, not
birthing people.
Yeah.
Her first movie was really good too. I saw it at SF Indie Fest a couple of years ago. Nia DaCosta.
Yeah, Nia DaCosta. Now, what was her first film?
It's called Little Woods. It's more just like an independent drama, but it was solid.
Oh, the woods that were named after Clark when he got lost there.
Get it? Clark Little Woods.
Dude, it looks like she kind of plays around in genre a lot. Was that like a horror film?
No, not at all.
Western.
Dude, the cover straight up looks like Madeline's Madeline or something.
Yeah, it was good. I would watch it again.
He was in Madeline's Madeline.
True.
Wait, you weren't joking. Yeah, it's listed as crime drama Western. Oh man, I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, I really like this film. Also, again, I love Black culture because they're not scared to have a masculine lead. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's, I'm going to cut Oksana's headphones off so she can't hear this. I love a muscular man with broad shoulders.
Yeah, duh.
And, I was like, I support this dude. And the story that, unfolds is a little tragic, but I'm rooting for him all the way.
Artists annoy me.
All of
that
the
was
fucking,
the other thing.
all the white leads, dude, they're all like Jason Bourne and shit. It's like, I'm not rooting for you. I don't want some like dad looking.
Okay. Are you
Odenkirk.
anti-Jason Bourne, dude?
I'm not a Bourne fan.
You watch your mouth.
As far as like white action movies go, I'm out after like Stallone and who are the other short ripped guys?
Tom Cruise.
Not Tom Cruise.
Glenn Danzig.
Not sorry, Three Friends. I'm not a Cruise fan.
Watch your goddamn mouth.
No.
I
Arnold.
watched half of a Mission Impossible movie earlier
Which
this
one?
week too.
Which one?
The most recent one, Fallout.
Oh, Fallout's great.
And then what? Did you turn it off or fall asleep?
It was on TV. I just caught it in the middle.
From this day forward, there will be no negative talks about Tom Cruise and or the Mission Impossible
Oh, yeah.
franchise.
Randy, I forgot. He took up cigarettes and joined Scientology. So
Tom Cruise is a goddamn star. I love him.
I did hear an interesting story about him
I love the Mission Impossible movies.
where him and a stuntman were jumping off like a building or something. And the dude got hurt. And he was like, oh, man, I hurt. And Tom Cruise came up. He's like, are you injured or are you hurt?
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, can you continue or not? And he was like, yeah, I can go.
That's the intensity of a star. That star has carried the country on his back for decades. You
It's
respect
true.
him.
How cool is Candyman?
He broke his foot in the movie and they used it.
Man, I really like that movie.
All right, here's the thing. I could give it another go. Again, man, with the gummies, sometimes I get caught up in the minutia of things. Also, I listened to this. I'll be very honest. We're all friends here. I listened to the Cellar Dwellers show that we did with them
Yeah.
while I was high. Got terribly depressed.
Why?
I said, I'm not funny anymore.
Wait, so
I
at one
listened to
point,
this on an airplane coming from Phoenix to San Francisco. I was kind of freaking out.
wait, you were funny at one point.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, then we just disagree in a different way.
I'd set myself up for that. I understand. I understand completely. But that's all right. I'm going to power through.
Maybe you just need a visual medium. Maybe you should listen to me and get on camera.
I don't know. Just it just I don't know.
Don't worry. I
got to stop with the gummies, dude.
You make me laugh. I agree.
I got to stop with the gummies.
Yeah, start smoking more.
But sometimes, but see, that's the thing. It's a balance, though, right? Because no, it is a balance. You mentioned it last night. Gaia paid off.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Well, you are flipping a coin. Okay. Way back in the day, one of our earliest guests, Kaja Ram, who works for a library out here, does great work event coordinating. Also, the high-low programming. We should probably talk to those people at some point. He came over one day when we were watching In the Valley of Violence, and he had some like block of gummy. And he was like, you want some? I'm like, oh, all right. And he gave me a little piece, and I cut that in half, and I ate it, and I experienced the movie. I don't know if any of it sunk in.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you 1 minute of that film, except I remember feeling like blown away by it. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't. And Gaia, you're right. It did. It worked out really well for that one.
Yeah.
But I feel like that only happens 1 out of 10 times.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
Comedies, it works.
Yeah, okay. So I think you came in looking for a comedy and you took a gummy and you
It's not. Look, I didn't go to Candyman thinking it was going to be Chuckles Central. You know what I mean?
But dude, it's hard hitting. It's good. You get a lot of, dude, good conversation there about trauma being expressed through art, but yet working into a business medium and not being appreciated for the message, but for the
copious amount of CGBs.
Dude, I like so there's a moment where a bee is eaten by ants. And this came up in the car ride back. And I think that was a visual metaphor for the violence that happened to kick off our story. And I'm like, dude, somebody was thinking about this shit in here. Although the ants look very CG and remind me of Green Inferno.
That's fair. Also, last thing about Candyman. No mention whatsoever about our Lord and Savior, Lori Lightfoot. If you're going to make a movie about Chicago, Illinois, and Cabrini Green, my girl better be involved.
Oh, man.
It lost a star because of no Lori Lightfoot.
I mean, that's I don't know if we're there yet.
We're there.
Because, again, the racial nuance. If I don't think if in 2020, if I didn't just jump headfirst into like hours and hours of like political podcasts from all spectrums, I don't know if I could have come out with the view I have. And I just think, when people talk about BLM, it's like, good people and they're doing the right thing. And then you hear about Breonna Taylor's mom, who's like, they exploited the shit out of me, made a ton of money, and I never saw a fucking penny. And then you look into their stuff and they're talking about deconstructing the nuclear family. That level of like nuance when you're appreciating our main characters living in a bourgeoisie, art-loving, wine-tasting family setting, it doesn't work. And I think if you add a Lori Lightfoot in there, it all fucking spirals out of control.
And you get the comedic element
I don't know.
that I was looking for.
Dude, I think you find it funny because you listen to fucking Tim Dillon.
No, I find it funny because I read the news.
Yeah, but I think people are over it. Dude, we got David Lynch as a president right now, and it hasn't looked worse.
What's am I talking about?
I had a word. What is it? I honestly, I was so happy that was a bit. Because when I was watching that for the first time, I'm like, oh my God. I thought they were going to bury him.
All right.
Then we'd have to have Jennifer Lynch fly out.
Ooh. I haven't watched a Jennifer Lynch film in a long time.
Jenny from the Block.
Hiss. I never saw Hiss.
Me either. Let's watch it.
All right. Randy, you want to come over?
Yeah, catch an Uber, dude.
I'll watch it sometime.
All right, Randy. Have fun in Atlanta living your new life away from us.
Will do. I'll try at least. I don't know if I enjoy my life here either. So,
Randy, you're going to love it. I'm going to make a prediction. Russ, you ready?
Yeah.
I think Randy may gain a couple LBs in Atlanta, dude.
Oh.
He's gonna be entrenched in that heavy Southern food and that heavy Southern weather. I don't know, man.
Heavy Southern women.
I think, Randy, what are you now? Like 135, 140?
Yeah, usually like 140.
265 this time next year.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, I'd love Fat Randy.
Not gonna happen.
All right. Well, when you get out there, say hi to your new parents. Again, we vetted them, Randy. You're in good hands, and they clearly need some engineering help.
No, their show sounds good. They're good.
It sounds good, but when you're uploading the same episode twice,
New show.
I think I've done that once too. So,
Randy, look, he's already defending them more than he ever defended us.
What do you expect? He's a turncoat. He's a
I was just saying that I'm
rat.
also capable of making the same mistake.
No one believes that. Randy, take us home.
We'll take you home with a eulogy. R.I.P. Ed Asner, friend of the show.
Oh my God!
Don't do that.
What the hell?
Oksana, save it. Oksana, you take us home.
Oh no, not me. No.
Come on, do a bit.
What? Were you trying to read something?
No, come on.
No.
Do it. You've been working on a minute.
Yeah.
Talking to the mic.
This is gonna kill this whole episode. End with me.
No, it's exactly how I thought it was going to go. We'll see you next week.
Wow.
Bye-bye.